Hi, I'm Phil Nixon. I'm from Bass Gear. Welcome to Bass Gear. We're one of the dedicated bass guitar shops in the UK. And there I was this morning having a quiet cup of coffee, got a call from Vintage and Rare, and they said, we'd like to come along and film you this afternoon. So here we are. Vintage and Rare is a damn good name because it really, if we weren't called Bass Gear Limited, I think we'd like to use that name because rare in the sense that we sell brand new basses that are very rare, but also on the used pre-owned market we increasingly attract a lot of very rare and very vintage basses. I mean, behind me at the moment you'll see a section of our pre-owned basses, and some of them are really interesting, and it's almost like being an archaeologist when you dig into some of these basses. I mean, here's a couple of Music Man Sabre basses, and they were made in the late 70s and 80s. In the late 70s, when Leo Fender was supplying Music Man and all the internet scene struggles they were having, relationships, very interesting. And when you take some of these basses apart, look at the pots and the serial numbers and the neck date stamps and so forth, and you start to see a bit of a picture as to what was happening at that time in the way of the builds and where they originated. Of course, I run a bass shop because I'm a bass player. I regularly gig in a couple of bands, and bass is what I've been doing for longer than I dare admit. And of course I get a lot of toys come in that I'd rather not sell actually because they're too nice to keep. One of my favourites at the moment is this Violette archtop 5-string fretless, and that's made in Woodstock in New York, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's really light, and it's got an ebony fingerboard that for some reason when I play it I can actually hit the notes on it, the intonation's just right, but there's no fret lines, and I'm one of these pretend fretless players that would like to have the fret lines normally, but for this one for some reason it just almost plays on its own. And you know, I think if there was a sudden need to evacuate Bass Gear and I had to grab one bass, I think this probably would be it. But I mustn't say it too loud because all the other basses will get jealous. I was saying earlier about archaeology, and this is a great one for that. This is a 1963 Fender 6 bass, so it's a 6-string bass, but it's tuned like a normal 6-string guitar, but a lower octave. And in the States they call them the tic-tac bass because in the days before FM, radio stations in America were playing country music and so on AM, and in those days country music was played with an upright double bass, but it doesn't cut through on the AM frequency very well, so quite often recording artists would overdub the double bass with one of these basses using a plectrum, and the sound of it was very sort of tic-tac, 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 so that's what they call that. This is a 1963, it's what do they call a sort of version 2. The version 1's only had 3 switches here, this has got a 4. It's got a whammy bar, and it's in beautiful condition for its age. I bet it could tell a few stories, and this is great to come across these old characters and have them as part of the store. Unfortunately they don't hang around long because people keep buying them.